Did you know your history teacher left this out? Here are 5 WW2 secrets you were never told. 1. Hitler planned to bomb New York but abandoned it. The plan was code-named America Bomber. 2. The U.S. Army used inflatable tanks to fool the Nazis, a fake army that won real battles. 3. Japan secretly launched balloon bombs that reached the U.S. West Coast. One even killed 6 civilians in Oregon. For the Nazis built a secret Arctic base to find ancient Viking artifacts. And it was real. These secrets were buried for decades. Want to hear 5 more? Come in part 2 and I'll reveal them. Nah, back to those World War II secrets. No! 5. Did you know that over 75,000 Germans defected to the Allies? These men didn't want to fight for the Nazi regime anymore, and they chose to surrender. But there was a problem. The balloons were filled with incendiary devices and chemicals that would ignite upon impact. While most of them were harmless, a few actually caused significant damage. Operation Comet was a plan to create a fake army that would be used as bait to lure the Nazis into a trap. The fake army consisted of inflatable tanks, trucks, and jeeps, and it worked like a charm. Want to hear 5 more? Come in part 2 and I'll reveal them. The Nazis took the bait and attacked the fake army. But that's not all. I have a special challenge for you. This video is part of a series and each video has 5 hidden secrets. If you can spot them all and comment them below, I will personally pin your comment. Good luck! Giving the real army time to regroup and launch a... This tactic was used in several key battles during World War II, including the Battle of the Bulge and the liberation of France. It's safe to say that without Operation Comet, the outcome of the war could have been very different. For example, one balloon landed in a forest near Mount Hood, Oregon, and started a fire that burned for days. Hitler wanted to retaliate against the U.S. for entering the war, and what better way to do that than by bombing their biggest city? But there was a problem. The journey from Germany to New York was simply too far. Even with the technology of the time, it would take days for the plane to get there. And by the time it arrived, it would be too late. The U.S. had developed a new type of radar that could detect incoming planes long before they reached the coast. So Hitler had only one option. He had to launch the attack from a much closer location. So he chose to bomb Pearl Harbor again. But that didn't work either. The U.S. was prepared for another attack and managed to shoot down all of the planes. In the end, Hitler gave up on attacking America altogether. Instead, he focused his efforts on Europe, where he knew he had a much better chance of winning. Another balloon crashed into a schoolyard in the town of Bly, killing 5 students and injuring 40 others. The people of the West Coast were terrified, and the U.S. government did everything they could to keep the attacks a secret. In fact, they didn't even tell the families of the victims what had happened until decades later. The Allies didn't know what to do with them. They couldn't just let them go, but they also couldn't bring themselves to execute 75,000 soldiers. So instead, they did something no one had ever done before. They put these soldiers on trial. The Nuremberg doctor's trial is still one of the most important legal cases in history. It established the concept of war crimes and set the precedent for future trials. No. 4. The Nazis built a secret Arctic base to find ancient Viking artifacts. And it was real. The base was called W335, and it was located in an area of Norway that had been occupied by the Nazis. The base was staffed by scientists and soldiers whose job it was to search for the legendary treasure of the Vikings. They were looking for gold, silver, weapons, and other artifacts that could be used to boost the Nazi war effort. But they never found anything. In fact, the base itself was eventually destroyed by a bombing raid. But that didn't stop the Nazis from trying. They continued to search for the Viking treasure throughout the war, and even built another base after World War II ended. To this day, no one knows what they were really after or why they were so obsessed with finding it. But some believe that it was all part of a secret plan to revive the Viking spirit in Germany. Number 3. Japan secretly launched balloon bombs that reached the U.S. West Coast. One even killed 6 civilians in Oregon. No. 2. The U.S. Army used inflatable tanks to fool the Nazis. Number 1. Did you know that Hitler planned to bomb New York but abandoned it? The plan was codenamed America Bomber. These secrets were buried for decades. Now, if you want to see 5 more shocking WW, thanks for watching.